Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting out war against the Grey. Today's video we're going to talk start collecting Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today in particular we're going to look at the Flesh Eater Courts, and in particular the Blisterskin sub-faction. Now in this video we're going to go through the special rule for the particular sub-faction before having a look at a couple of units we recommend to get started with for this particular sub-faction. We'll then have a look at some other units we can use to expand upon these first couple of initial purchases, and finally finish off the video with a little sample army list of 1,000 points for you to use, hopefully as some inspiration for starting your own force of the Flesh Eater Courts using the Blisterskin sub-faction in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Now, something's really cool about Blisterskin. I think they have one of the coolest paint schemes of all the Flesh Eater Courts. They're a little bit different than all the standard ghouls you get. As you can see here, they're sort of like burnt. The idea is that they're from the realm of Akshi, or at least the hotter parts of the realm of death, the hotter parts of the mortal realms like in Gur and stuff like that, and their skin, well, is blistered, hence the name Blisterskin. Now, as we go into this, we have the sub-faction rule. This is Pious Nobility. This allows all friendly Aberant models to gain the Priest keyword, however they can't cast spells and do prayers in the same turn. This is interesting though, because you can unbind an endless spell and still chant a prayer, because you're not casting a spell, you're unbinding instead of casting, which is a pretty cool little thing on the aside. On top of this as well, you do have the ability to take Crypt Flayers as a battle line unit when you're playing in this particular sub-faction. Today's video is brought to you by Gap Games, a fantastic retailer in Australia for a variety of different miniature war games. If you'd like to help support the channel, we have an affiliate link where by clicking on and purchasing, you'll help support the channel, but you'll also help support Gap Games, which is a fantastic servant to the community. And so, to begin with our force, I think the Aberant Gore Warden, for me, is the place to start. First of all, this is an Aberant model, so it's going to gain the Priest keyword, which is a big part of the sub-faction, but also has some cool rules that tie in with Crypt Flayers, which of course are another big thing we get from being the Blisterskin sub-faction. Now this model is a one cast and one unbind wizard, and it's got royal blood like most of your Flesh Eater Courts heroes. It's going to heal some wounds each turn. Royal Hunting Party allows this model to actually set up off the table and take a unit of Crypt Flayers or Morbeg Knights, which are the new Flesh Eater Court Knightly models, off the table with it and deploy on the battlefield later during the game. You've also got Winds of Shaiish as well, which is a spell you can cast on the model, and you pick a friendly Flesh Eater Courts unit that can fly within range. You remove the unit and teleport both the Gore Warden and the other friendly unit anywhere on the battlefield outside of 9" of enemy units, giving you some really decent movement abilities with this model. Now, of course, joining this, starting with this force, we have the Crypt Flayers. They are going to be an important part of how the force works. Escort Courtiers is actually a really cool rule, meaning I can pick up some of your smaller characters that have 7 wounds or less and don't have fire, and actually transport them around with them, which is nice. Death Scream means you can get some extra points of wound against characters or models with a bravery characteristic of 6 or less. This is your Death Scream attack with a 10" range, 4 attacks of 4s and 3s or 2s if they're 6 or less bravery, rend -2, damage 1. A nice little bit of shooting in your force, which is not something you get an awful lot with Flesh Eater Courts. You then got your Piercing Talons as well for 4 attacks each at 4s and 3s, rend 1, damage 1 on top of that as well. The unit can fly with a 4-up wounds and a 5-up save. Now, looking at where we can go next, definitely wanting to look at some of the alpha Aberant characters we can bring into the force is going to be important. And the first of these is the Aberant Archregent. And this ties in with some of the units nicely that we just talked about with his spell Carrying Call, which allows other friendly models from the Flesh Eater Courts faction that set up on the same turn to make a d6 move at the end of the movement phase. This can, really help us make sure we are getting those charges. Now, he's also got Royal Blood for a little bit of healing, and Countless Servants allows him to either return 3 models to a friendly Serf unit nearby, or a single model to a friendly Knight unit nearby each and every turn. On top of that, he's a 2-cast and 2 unbind wizard. He's an Aberant, so he gets the Priest keyword as well, which is all really cool. The last of the Aberant models and characters we want to talk about is the Aberant Ghoul King. This is a 1 custom 1 unbind. Royal Blood allows it to heal, as you would expect. Code of Honor allows you to actually get some bonuses when targeting an enemy hero in a challenge. And then Natural Speed is the spell for this model, which allows you to get the Strikes First effect on a friendly model, which is really cool. And you can also roll 3d6 for a charge as well. Really, really cool, doubling down on the combo. Now, with this force, we definitely want to look at bringing in some numbers to give us, some objective holders. And the best way to do this is, of course, with Crypt Ghouls. They come in units of 20 now, which is also giving us some really good bodies on the table. They do have only 2 attacks at 4s, and 4s no rend damage 1, though they get an extra point of rend if they're near any courtiers or aberrants, which is a pretty decent range of 18 inch for the aberrants models, which of course we're including lots of in this particular subfaction. Balanced Ferocity is really good when you can start to get a lot of these models in, because they'll actually get auto wounds on 6s, and if they've got 20 or more models in the unit, they'll get auto wounds on 5s or 6s as well. Lastly, we have the Endless Spells for the Fleshly Corpse, and they've got a good variety of them. First of all, the Cadaverous Barricade has the ability to stop your opponent's movement and not allowing them to retreat or run nearby, and just halving their movement. A fantastic model. It's a terrain piece, so once it's down, it sort of stays in the same place, which is a little bit of a shame, but it can be moved around with some of the abilities you've got. You then have your Chalice of Usharan, which is some healing based on how many models sort of die around it. And then the Corpsemare Stampede is some direct damage dealing for your force. And so here we have our sample army list, obviously in the Blisterskin subfaction, and we've got the grand strategy Defend the Throne. This, I think, is a pretty decent grand strategy to go with for this first 1,000 point force. What this means is you have to have a character sort of garrisoning your Charnel Throne at the back of the field, and you have to have it not smashed to rubble at the end of the game. For this, I'd be sticking your Aberant Ghoul King on it, and probably chucking something like your Crypt Ghouls around it as well to make sure they stay nice and alive. Now, we then have the Aberant Archregent, who's going to lead the force. Feverish Scholar gives him +1 to cast, unbind, and dispel, and if he's ever got 6 Royal Deed points, he will get +2 instead. Now we've got the Grim Garland, which is a -1 bravery debuff around, which is pretty cool when combined with Crypt Flayers. And then you've got the spell Deranged Transformation and the Rite of Delusion, the prayer, the Summer King's Favour. We've got an Aberant Ghoul King in there with Crimson Victuals for a spell, and Bless This Meal as the Rite of Delusion, the prayer. And then an Aberant Gore Warden with Masterful Shroud as the spell, and Charnel Conviction as the prayer. For battle line, we have a big unit of 6 Crypt Flayers. This is going to be our big hammer. They're going to teleport around with the Aberant Archregent, able to fly with them, but also be able to deploy off the table with the Gore Warden as well. Now we've then got a unit of 20 Crypt Ghouls, which is going to protect our home base. Really, we are limited in the pieces we've got with this force, but 2 big heavy hitting pieces, and especially, those Crypt Flayers can put out quite a bit of damage if they've got all the buffs on them from the other bits. We then have some Endless Spells for the Cadaverous Barricade and the Chalice of Usharan, 2 really nice Endless Spells to take, and a Battle Regiment wrapping it all up in a 1-drop force. We are 20 points under, so we've gone for a Triumph here, and we've gone for Bloodthirsty. When you've got so few units, Bloodthirsty is just really important, always the way to go, because you want to make sure you can get those rerolls to charge and get your units in fighting at all times. If you've got some ideas though on how to build up your own Blisterskin force for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And so, that's the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below, letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our great little community here, we have a Discord server linked down in the video's description, and also linked down there are the best ways to help support the channel as well. Our Patreon and YouTube members down there are fantastic ways to help support the channel, and if you'd like to get a shout out like all these people, you can go and join up today. So with that said, we'd like to give a shout out to all our Patreon and YouTube members. So thank you to our Patreons, Rob B, Broken Chef, Andy C, Grimscold, Colorblind Magic, Benjamin Swallows, James Cater, Mark Harvey, Domir, Average Wargamer, Q Damac, Andrew Bowen, Outer and Shot First, Kenny Lowe and Soren, and to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, James Tillman, Disco, John Castle, and Gargamel196. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.